Hi everyone, welcome to Cooking Vintage, where we cook vintage dishes in vintage dishes. I'm Andy. Let's get started. Today we are making, out of this cute little recipe book from the 30s, we're making cocoa meringues. Yum, yum. Okay, I've got all of my ingredients here. I have my egg whites. I actually separated my eggs earlier so that I could let them come to room temperature. Always, always, always let your egg whites come to room temperature for a really good meringue. I've got vanilla, we've got sugar, we've got white vinegar, and of course we've got cocoa. Turns out I don't have Hershey's cocoa powder because we bougie, so this is some yummy cocoa powder from the Dominican Republic. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take our egg whites, we're gonna dump them into our KitchenAid mixer. I've got my whisk attachment on to make them nice and fluffy. And I'm just gonna hit go, and I gotta let these guys get stiff before we do anything else. So I'll see you in a couple minutes. Okay, y'all, I'm back. We were supposed to beat these really stiff, and when I say stiff, like, these guys were stiff. Oh, forgot to close my cabinet. Okay, so we've got our stiff egg whites. I'm gonna put them back on. Now we're gonna add sugar, vanilla, and vinegar, and the vinegar actually is gonna help stabilize our meringue, so it's really great that we have it in there. We've got 1 cup of sugar. This is a 1/2 cup measure. I made pancakes yesterday and my cup measure is dirty and I don't feel like washing it. So we're just gonna do 2 1/2 cups, no big deal. Gotta buy more sugar. There we go. We're gonna add in, ooh, I was supposed to do that gradually. Hopefully this still works. Okay, we're gonna add in a teaspoon of vanilla. Again, I used my teaspoon yesterday, so we're just gonna do 2 halves. There we go. And 1/2 tablespoon of vinegar. Kaboom. In we go. Everyone pray for my meringue that I didn't just screw it up by adding all of that sugar. And we're gonna beat it again. See you in a couple minutes. Bye. Okay, so we've now got this really gorgeous, glossy, whipped, beautiful meringue. Look at that. You could make cookies out of this and it would probably be delicious. In fact, like, oh yeah, A+ like vanilla meringue cookies right there. But we want cocoa for Hershey. So I'm gonna put this back on here. And while it was whipping up, I prepped 2 baking trays with my little Silpats. I also prepped my piping bag. The recipe says to drop by the spoonful. I'm fancy, and I kind of want it to look like little Hershey's Kisses. So I'm gonna put it in a piping bag and I'm gonna pipe it instead. But first, let's add our cocoa. We're gonna add 3 1/2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. Again, like, I did a little research on this just to make sure I wasn't completely off the rails, but the recipe calls for Hershey's breakfast cocoa, which was really just Hershey's cocoa powder. Apparently there were lots of different kinds of cocoa powder when this was published in the 30s, so they wanted to make sure that you have the right kind, and all it means is just like regular old unsweetened cocoa powder. Again, this is my like bougie cocoa powder from the Dominican Republic. You can use literally whatever cocoa powder you have on hand. I just would caution away from using maybe pre-sweetened because these are already gonna be pretty sweet from our meringue. So, okay. We have our 3 1/2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. It says to stir these in. I'm gonna leave my whisk attachment on and I'm gonna put the stir function on my mixer. So it's just gonna mix it very slowly. So the cocoa powder doesn't go everywhere. You can kind of see like a little cloud happening right now. But it's also gonna make sure that it keeps the air inside of my meringue because that's what's gonna make them nice and crunchy and fluffy. I'm gonna turn this off for a second because you don't need to see this. Okay, bye. Okay, so I let the mixer do a lot of the work, but now I'm just gonna like fold in the rest of this cocoa powder. If you've seen Schitt's Creek, you know, fold it in, David, fold it in. I'm not a very good impressionist, but we're just folding our cocoa powder in. So we cut it and we fold it, and that's what that means, if you were ever wondering. And then Max can lick the spoon. Okay, our cocoa powder is folded in. I got my little piping bag, and I'm just gonna make little like Hershey Kiss kind of situations on my mat, just like this. If you don't feel like piping, don't pipe. Like, I am positive that you will be just fine with a spoon. Okay, we got everything piped. They look super cute, maybe kind of like poops, but that's okay. They'll look cute when they're done. I'm gonna put these in my oven, 275 for about a half an hour. Key with meringue always is low and slow, so that's what we're gonna do here. I'll see y'all in a little bit. Okay, they just came out of the oven. They look so cute. I think they're probably a little bit underdone, if anything. But what you're looking for is for the meringue to kind of come up. I cheated, I put a spatula under, but this one came up really easy. You want it nice and dry on top, kind of hollow in the back, and it's super light and fluffy in my hand. I'm gonna take a bite and tell you how it tastes. Oh my God, it's gonna be super chewy in the middle and crunchy on the outside, which is how I like a meringue. But yum, A+ recipe. Thanks, Hershey's. Bye.